You definitely want to write numbers out when you are writing broadcast scripts. This helps you read a script that you've never seen before you go on the air. Now, if you're writing your script yourself, of course you did. But if somebody else wrote it, that's where this comes in handy and why those of us in broadcasting universally teach that everybody does this. Because there will be times you will have to read a script that you yourself never touched. And obviously too, this also helps other people read the scripts that you wrote for on air. So let's take $100 as an example. In traditional writing, meaning print and online writing, you'd write it like this, $100. That's just the appropriate, regular way to do that. The problem becomes that when you put symbols in teleprompter, it takes the human mind a second to recognize the symbol and then say it. And yes, we're only talking about fractions of a second, but that's enough time to mess up when reading a script live on the air. That's because when you write $100 out like this, you're really writing $100 because the symbol comes first. So instead, write it out $100 using hyphens or dashes to connect the words, signaling to the anchor that the word coming up is one big word. The same goes for the percent sign and almost most other symbols that you can think of. Just avoid using symbols in teleprompter. Going back to the same example, instead write 100%. This way, there's no thinking involved, just simply reading. Writing your numbers and symbols out will make a world of difference when you're on the air. And now here's time for an exception. That's when you're writing out the year of when something took place. Yes, you do format it in a way that an anchor would conversationally say it, but you do it in a specific way. Let's use the year 2020 as an example. Every day there are more and more candidates announcing they're running for president in the year 2020. And yes, that would be accurate, but the issue here is that no one talks like that. It's not conversational. You could write out 2020 also as 2020, meaning the words. In fact, you might work with an anchor that prefers it like that. And when we're talking about talent in a newsroom, you may work with somebody at your current shop that wants it done one way, but then when you move on, the anchors or talent there want you to do it a different way. So just prepare to be flexible with this. What you'll want to do is to simply just start with the numbers and hyphens. And here's some random years for you. 2020, 1996, 1969, 1776. You get the idea. The ones that will throw you off are from the early 2000s. 2001 is said conversationally as 2001. So you need to write the year out like that the long way. Now, speaking of numbers, when writing numbers 1 through 9, you need to write them out as words, as in 1, O-N-E, 2, T, W, O, and so on. The rest you can write as numbers until you get to 100. 100 is written as 1-100, then 2-100, 3-100, and so on. And it's the same with 1,000 and million. Now, when you combine numbers like 122,000, how in the world would you write that? Well, here's a way. 122,000 all is words. Though I have seen 100-22-1000. Because you usually only have to write out numbers 1 through 9, which means that you can use the number 22 as an actual number. And again, some talent you work with may prefer one way over the other. But as a reporter, write them the way that works for you. And as you're trying to find what's right for you and you have questions, please feel free to reach out. I'll see you in the next video.